Good morning and welcome to the show, everyone. It's Monday and we are coming off of a great weekend. I hope you're having a great day so far. My name's Jason. I've got my lovely wife to my right, Brittany. Good morning, Brittany.
Good morning.
We are live right now on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram. We're all over the place. We also got a live on my left here with TikTok. TikTok in the house. Sorry, TikTok. Couldn't mic you up this morning because the phone is about dead. And, was that Rowdy? Did you give him a seat?
Yes, I did.
Old Rowdy. Rowdy, the neighborhood dog, is with us this morning, hanging out. And we're having a good time. We've got TJ Pruitt in the house. Good morning, TJ. How are you? Hope you're doing great today. Man, it's a Monday, huh?
Another manic.
It's a manic mom day.
Yeah.
I got you that shirt, didn't I?
Yeah, Mother's Day.
Fancy.
You're not using your Father's Day mug.
I did earlier. My fault.
Yeah.
I swapped it out.
I don't care. I'm not the one that bought it for you.
Actually, this is a good story. Tell everyone what the Father's Day. Yeah, because I wanted to let Rowdy the dog out.
Yeah, so for Father's Day, I did this little thing with the girls where we went to Dollar Tree. And I told them on the way there, I said, anything you want to buy in the store for your dad, you buy it. I don't care what it is, you're going to pick it out and I'm going to buy it for you. So they were really, really thrilled about the idea of just picking out whatever they wanted. So we went through and, just anything. We actually got them a couple Father's Day cards too. And so I just told them, like, in this section, pick whatever you wanted. So they just picked a card. They couldn't read it, So that was really funny. So yeah, they ended up getting him, Anna got him a mug. They were right there in the front and it said best dad ever. So that was like an awesome themed present. And then later we ended up settling on, and like I said, I didn't give any suggestions. I just let them pick and I put it in the buggy. So they got him the mug, a headlamp, I guess on his head, a car wax applicator, and Adley picked him out socks. So it was a clever little Father's Day thing. But honestly, I think we're going to do a tradition of that because they loved being able to pick that out for him and felt so accomplished and loved giving it to him. Although we gave it to him the day we got it, which was Wednesday, because our children, as soon as we pulled up to the house and Daddy helped us in, he opened the door and the first thing out of Anna's mouth was, Daddy, we got you socks. So, yeah. Anyways, I don't know what you guys did for Father's Day, but that's what we did. And honestly, sharing the tradition, I think it's so cool to get something, it's Dollar Tree. It's not like they're going to pick up, $100 item that's not relevant to the situation. So that was really fun. Sharing the tradition. Take your kids to Dollar Tree and tell them you're going to get something for somebody. And whatever they want to get for them, they can. That was nice.
It's one word to describe it.
Yeah.
So did you tell everybody about no, you said the tradition.
Yeah.
Have you started this or is this something? Okay.
No, we're starting this.
Go
to Dollar Tree, whatever you want to get him. I mean,
yeah.
As they get, we'll get,
Did you tell them everything I got?
Other gifts too, but yeah.
I got some socks.
Yeah.
Which I wore
that was
to
Adley.
church.
Adley picked you the socks.
Adley picked my socks out. I got a waxing car scrubber.
Yeah, wax
applicator. Yeah. I got a headlamp.
Yeah.
You know what though?
What?
The headlamp is really good if I run it late at night. Just be honest with you. Like it's one of those. It turned out really good, and I ain't waxing my car. Like I used to do that. I don't do that anymore.
Done. Yeah.
I say that though. I
They
might.
used to do that for their kids
You
for
know.
Christmas. It's and it also, I mean, I love the idea of getting like special gifts or whatever, but
Yeah.
at the same time, my love language is gifts, and that to me is the sweetest thing ever, because a lot of people think your love language is gifts, so you got to get that person this big elaborate gift. No, it's just the thought behind it. So our kids, it's hanging up on my wall or on our refrigerator. Any kind of drawing that they give me or something, that's just like the sweetest thing ever. So
Well, even like for me, so I'm not a gifts person.
yeah.
But it does like I would warn people with the love languages to not be so like boxed in on them, because like I'm not a gifts person, but I do appreciate gifts. But here's the thing that I appreciated. I liked seeing how excited they were for me to open the bag.
Yeah.
That was real. Like even after church Sunday, they did a craft that was a gift for Dad. And so Anna, we were pulling out of the church, and she goes, I left my Father's Day gift
Oh,
at
yeah.
church. I left it.
Yeah, that was
So
catastrophic.
obviously we had to go back in and get that.
Yeah. This is the second time in 2 weeks we've had to do this.
Was it?
Yeah, we're pulling out of the church, and she's forgotten something.
What did she forget last time?
Grogu.
Yeah, she left, which that would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
Because Grogu was in the nursery in the baby pen, just sleeping.
Oh.
Like they had laid anyways. But like I did, I enjoyed that. And then she was like, when I got the bag, she was like, open it, Daddy. Open it. And I was like, all right. What? I mean,
Well, it was great. Though. I tell you, if there's anybody here too that has any Disney knowledge, it was great. She had a keychain, and there was like a lot of scribbles on one side, and it kind of vaguely looked like a basketball. And I thought she had made you a basketball, which I was like, fitting. I
Clever.
was like, is that a basketball? And she goes, no, it's a dingle hopper. So, if you've seen Little Mermaid, she made him a little.
I don't even remember what the dingle hopper was.
Luckily, you have keys.
Yeah, for sure,
Dingle
Mark.
hopper was the
Yeah.
fork. It was the fork.
It was a fork.
That she uses.
Oh, okay. Clever.
Yeah.
Cleverness. Okay.
Anyways, now we're rambling.
Yeah, I know. Anybody got some, like, before we do move on, has anybody got some cool Father's Day information stories that you want to throw on there? Go ahead and do
Maybe
so.
you didn't celebrate it, since it's like in like the top 20 of.
We're going to go there. So this is probably a clip that's everywhere, okay? But I found it on TikTok. And it's this comedian talking about how just overlooked Father's Day is and how much competition there is. He said, I want you to think about this. The number 2 holiday is Mother's Day. The top holiday is Christmas. So dads, I just need you to understand, you are in competition with Jesus and your mama. Okay? He said, and the truth is, Father's Day winds up at number 20 when it comes to ranking a holiday. He said, Halloween is number 6. So goblins and ghouls beat you, Dad.
Yeah.
He said, I can't even think of 18 other holidays between Christmas and Father's Day. Arbor Day? I don't even know what an arbor is. It is the funniest skit.
As funny as it is, though, it does show you a little bit of what I believe is wrong with society, which is where we place the importance of our fathers. So
Go ahead.
Oh,
Go there. It's post Father's Day. We might as well have a little rant about it because
it's one of those.
because let's face it, TV makes dads look stupid.
They do. They do.
I ain't
And-
stupid.
Well, but we were talking about this backstage yesterday. Even Father's Day in general makes dads look stupid a lot of times. The theme of certain things, like they're just kind of the dumb guys that focus on more of their yard than they do anything else, or you know what I mean? Like
I don't even like my yard.
I'm not, I'm not into that. And I was thinking about it yesterday, not to like make you uncomfortable, but, our girls, they watch him like a hawk. Like they watch everything he does. And when he's not here, the first thing they're going to say is, Daddy, especially Adley, she's piecing words together. Daddy work. Yeah, Daddy's at work. And then Anna, she'll have her play laptop and she'll be like, I'm working like Daddy. I'm working like Daddy. And he works from home a lot, and then he'll work, out of the office. And so the fact that they get to see him kind of doing life and working, and then not only are you working, but you communicate. I'm working and I'm doing this so that we can have what we have, and that, that's such a great thing that you're seeing your dad be engaged in providing for the family. He's also here. He doesn't work all the time. He's also here for the kids and that kind of thing. Matter of fact, thanks to you, I have a partner to go to the dentist today with the kids. But, it's just one of those, it's invaluable to have a father present like that, and even
playing man to man on these kids with the dentist.
Even the people that don't have the privilege of having a present dad. I'm just thankful for all the men that step up and are there for those people, any kind of a fatherly figure. I noticed I always talk about moms, and I say, mom, there's a mom noun, which is what she is. She's a girl she's a woman who bears children. But then there's a mom verb, and that is an action of being motherly, right? And so, I'm thankful for all the mom nouns, right? But I'm especially thankful for the mom verbs, because that was a choice.
Oh, yeah.
That was a choice to be motherly. When you look at father, it's not the same layout. It's father noun, which is basically, what a father is. And father verb is somebody who actively helped make a baby. Like, there's nothing there.
Well, they've not read the Bible.
I know, right? There's nothing there to indicate that. And I'm like, it's one thing to have kids. It's another thing entirely to parent them. And to parent them properly.
Oh, sure.
And so,
sure, absolutely.
I'm thankful for all of you dads. You deserve to be celebrated. You don't deserve to be in the top 20. In fact, you're the head, not the tail.
Mark said, of course, I guess I didn't hear that part of the clip. He said it's true. We get Little Caesars, they get Olive Garden. Oh, my gosh.
You got ribs yesterday.
I did get ribs.
You
Ribs.
feasted. So, matter of fact, you had to feast. I didn't eat my half.
Well, yeah, I was about to say, boxed up that feast.
Yeah. Oh, man. But anyway,
After
sorry.
Father's Day,
Rambling.
splurging. Yeah, we're kind of rambling, but it's okay. We're talking. I appreciate all the comments. I see where Kiana came in. Good morning.
Kiana, missed you guys.
She said she got to cook dinner for her
Aw,
dad. Let's
awesome.
go. That's awesome. Fantastic. Kayla, good morning to you. Glad you're here with us. So this week, me and Brittany were talking, and she asked, hey, what's kind of the word? What's the word? And I told her, I said, something I'm kind of interested to talk about this week, which, by the way, if any of you ever have an interest of something that you would like discussed on this show, you can inbox us, DM us, or you can text us, 615-908-3067. Didn't know what I was going to do, did you?
No, I didn't.
You're like, boundary crossed.
Or you can just come over and tell us what you'd like to talk about.
We'll pour you a cup of Joe and we'll just put you on the show.
I mean, most of our circle, anybody on Facebook, they probably already have over it. That's fine. But if a stranger just...
There's a stranger at my door.
Oh, thank you, Google. Anyways.
Your face, you were so... I felt the tension on you. It was hilarious.
Man.
Anyways, I thought to myself, something I would like to hear from, talk about, discuss, and that is, how do you go about your day in terms of your habits, your routines? Maybe you even got some of them life hacks, Like I know for me, I don't know how you'd say this, but like my routines have changed. They've shifted. And so I'm kind of in this place now where I'm like, hey, I'm kind of ready to relook at some new habits, some new rituals. And I thought maybe just to kind of start this conversation off, I'd love to hear a little bit about people. Like, what's your routine? Like, what do you do when you get up? Is it something that you've planned on? Is it something that you just kind of do? How about going to bed, right? Like, do you have a nighttime ritual? Like this is how
Every time you say ritual, I think of
like religious,
like a pot and a witch and a, I don't know, like a spell. It's like a ritual. I don't know.
like a chant. We're going to chant ourselves to sleep.
It's weird.
We're not chanting. How about you, Brittany? What are some things that are like, this is my locked in routine? It could be, it doesn't have to be like a time for, but like even like your coffee. Like, is there a certain way that you do your coffee? Is there a certain way you cook? Is there like, what's those life hack things that you do?
My coffee is black.
Okay.
I drink like a cowboy.
Yeah.
I do have a routine of taking my blood pressure medicine every morning and every night. But you know, funny to that, I mean, as funny as that is, and once you get to be a grown up, you have to do that, you know, take your medicine. I decided to implement greens in my life, taking greens. And so I just meshed that habit with my medicine, taking my medicine in the mornings. So to take my medicine, I would take it with my greens. So I'd have to mix my greens and take my medicine. And if I don't, now they've just gotten so meshed together, if I don't do one without the other, I'll forget. My whole day will be off. So, yeah, like.
Now, when you say your whole day is off, okay, this now we're getting, okay. How could that little thing, of course, with the blood pressure, I get that. Like, yeah, I get that part. But like something as simple as missing something that you routinely do ruins your. Why do you think that is? Like, you've done a lot of research on this kind of stuff. Like, why? Yeah, we've talked about this. We've read those books.
Yeah.
We're novices.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're creatures of habit. Bottom line, even if we don't know it, there's habitual things that we do in our daily life that just become part of our makeup. And so that could, habits are they're neutral. They're negative or positive. Like, it can be whatever. So, yeah, when you do something that throws off your routine like that, it's like your body feels it, you know?
It's almost like you've not satisfied a craving, or like how about this? When you get a mosquito bite, you know you're not supposed to scratch that, but you're like, right? Like, is it that kind of gnawing feeling of like, I did not do something I was supposed to do, or I feel like I was supposed to do?
Yeah, and sometimes it's just like, you know, it's kind of like breathing. You know, once it gets to that point, I mean, my adult life became medicine, any kind of medicine, whatever I started taking, whether it was, especially through trying to get pregnant and through pregnancy. There's so many supplements that you end up, like, you have to take your prenatals and you have to take your, you know, certain different vitamins and things like that. So I didn't miss those. And I took them for years. So it was one of those that just became a part of.
Do you only take prenatals when you're pregnant?
Well, I took them when we were like, okay, we're gonna say, let's start trying to have kids. I started taking prenatals then. And so then I took them all throughout. You're supposed to take them all throughout, like nursing and that kind of thing. So it's always a weird topic.
I could tell you're like,
I took them.
Can we move on from the topic of prenatals, please?
It's weird. Well, and then there's different kinds of prenatals, and it's a whole big thing. And then
what are you talking about?
Oh yeah, like, are you taking pure prenatals? You know,
are
you taking, like,
listen,
Walmart prenatals?
Let me tell you something. Okay.
That's like that with any vitamins.
Let me tell you, it's not even about vitamins. It's about everything. There's always like this, like, pendulum or spectrum, however you want to say it. There's always like, there's the people that's like, oh, you're doing that? Why? And then you go to the other pendulum of, oh, that's precious. You're doing that. Too bad you're doing it wrong. You know, like,
Yeah.
oh, pre-nails. Yeah, it's a shame that you're wasting your money on the worst. I mean, it's basically pee in a bottle. Like you know what I
I'm
mean?
gonna tell you this. I took cheap prenatals with Anna. You know, they were just prenatals or whatever. And then I took bougie prenatals with Adley. I had no difference. It was one of those.
Well, one did nurse and one is
Well, yeah.
still nursing.
That's one of those, like, I didn't feel any different. I didn't feel the difference.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
But isn't that funny?
I mean, there is the quality things. I mean, I get
Yeah, I
it.
am. But I'll tell you this: I don't poo-poo on people's perception of like where they're at.
My
Like,
friend that took.
I don't know. That bugs me sometimes. Oh yeah.
I'm not sure I used to know, like, mom brain, right? I'm not sure all the things about prenatals that are supposed to be amazing, but yeah, I don't.
Something about your nails and your hair, like it replaces
make
what
your
you
nails and hair grow.
utilize. Calcium isn't that in there because your bones.
Yeah, so I don't see it being a female only thing, you know. That's what he was saying.
What did he say?
He had a male friend that took prenatals, swore by him, took them for years.
Shoot, should I take some?
I don't know.
What do y'all think? You think I should start taking prenatals?
The prenatals.
I want some man-natals.
Now, okay, so if we're going to be honest about habits, and I've noticed a couple of people have talked about this. So, TJ, my routine starts with prayer and Bible reading, coffee, then this show. Thank you.
Oh.
Ours is we listen to the Bible before we go to bed, sometimes listen all night. Oh, that's, okay, so yes, that's very soothing. I am not the greatest at habitual devotional routines. Mm-hmm. I'm not awesome at it. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's the...
Do you feel bad about that?
I feel mixed reviews about that.
I've got a mixture of emotions.
I've got a mixture of reviews.
I asked that because I think a lot of people do.
Yeah, so why would I feel bad about that?
Right.
Am I not spending time with God? Or am I feeling bad because I'm not meeting a goal? Because if I'm not meeting a goal, am I really spending time with God? Do you know what I'm saying? And that's something that I do, struggle with. So I think for me, it's more of a conviction or not a conviction, but a call to be in His presence. And sometimes that is spontaneity.
Okay. I think this is I was going to say, I think this is a great place to drop anchor for a second because if you're a Bible person, okay, me and her, I think we would contrast in a unique way. Like, I'm not saying this is to the T, but in the analogy of this, we got Mary and we got Martha. Mary.
God, it's all those prenatals.
Oh, man. You're so funny.
I tried.
I love that.
I get it from my dad.
It's all them prenatals. But I'm saying, like, so I gotta get, I do the Bible for the most part, but I do it on speed. And they make fun of me because they're like, there's no way you heard.
He reads the Bible in tongues.
So I do. I put it on speed because I'm trying to crunch, that part of the goal of that reading is to basically catch my attention, to hear it until something catches my attention. Mm-hmm. But that to your point though, there's nothing like just sitting down and just like kind of like just a moment of like, hey, I just want to reflect on like this thing.
Yeah.
This. But here's the thing, the Martha in me that wants to do, I'm like, I can't do this and get through the whole thing. I will, you know what I'm saying? But then I'm like, well, hold on a second. Does it really even matter if I'm not getting anything out of it? Now, granted, I believe the speed part helps complement that part because I'm aware of the context. I'm aware, like, in other words, one of the very first things I did when we were teenagers, like, I was like, okay, I'm going to do, like, preaching and stuff. I probably should know the Bible. So my goal was, I just want to read this thing all the way through. So that way I actually, like, I don't want to be the person where I don't know where the stories are. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think a lot of people, like, they're like, you start talking about Elijah and Elisha, and you're like, oh, that's awesome. Was that like pre or post Jesus? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I
Never mind. I'm not that bad.
but what book?
Which there's nothing wrong with that
Yeah.
whatsoever.
But
hey, it's a great opportunity to learn it.
Yeah. So and like I said, I'm also listening to just something that catches my attention that I could stop Anchor for.
Yeah.
So I think they're complete. But to that point, is this actually accomplishing the life giving, or am I just working on a goal? That's interesting.
Yeah.
I've never thought of it that way.
To that point, though, to come to the other side of things, I mean, to see the other perspective, could it be that goal that is constantly met, that routine, while it may be robotic in a sense, could that be the thing that opens you up to notice more spontaneous moments that you spend with God?
I think so. I think so, because it goes back to
it's
this.
really not a negative
Well,
at
it talks
all.
about like, hey, having scriptures brought to your memory. Well, how can it be in your memory if you didn't hear? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's an aspect of, and I think it even talks about it in that book y'all got me for Christmas. So I'm that nerdy guy. On my Amazon list was a book called How to Read a Book. But the reason I wanted that is because it's by the guy that was the chief editor of the Encyclopedia Britannica. And like
That's my name in some language.
Britannica. Oh my gosh. But it talks about like how to grasp a book. It even talks about how to speed read. Like, it's a very interesting, like, how to get the most out of a book is very interesting.
Is that on audio?
No, I'm having to physically read that one.
How to read a book on audio. That'd be great. You know what I mean?
I bet you it's on there.
That'd be awesome.
Audible. We got some comments here.
Yeah, I would listen. Yeah. Okay, so listen. Okay, I'll tell you this.
Listen, Linda.
Listening to the Bible, I do believe is unique. I love it. I mean, granted, I'm dyslexic, so I feel like I take in a lot more when I'm listening. I say that, though. I had a harder time comprehending as a teenager being dyslexic. I've seen the world turn a little bit more since being a teenager. I'm a little older.
As the world turns.
And as you're older, I always tell kids that are struggling with it, you learn to hack your brain. And you learn that, while I may not be able to go the same direction as a lot of other people to get from point A to point B, I have figured out the scenic route. And I know it really well. And so now I can just get, so reading to me is not much of an issue now that I have figured out how I need to read. The atmosphere matters. Where my headspace is.
Gonna light
matters.
candles.
Yeah, no, I don't have to go that nuts. But just quiet. I can't do it in chaos. But yeah, so that was a weird left point. But yeah, anyways, reading is something great. I love it. And I do think there's its own, when you read it, there is this own tangible absorbing thing that happens, I guess. But when you listen to it, it's the same thing for me. There's a special thing, and there's things I catch listening that I don't catch reading. Where I'm like, oh, matter of fact, it's so funny. There are things I catch in the car. We have a Superbook playing, and that's the kids' Bible show, and it's a really cool show for kids, and it's every episode I've seen has been biblically accurate. And there are things that are said in that show that I'll listen while I'm driving, when they're watching it or whatever, and I'm like, oh man, that's cool. And I'll go back and read it, and then I'll, I'm like, wow, what a great point, But that's that spontaneity that I'm talking about, But how could that spontaneity come without some sort of a routine? My family pray every, evening. And I think that just that routine allows priority. And that then allows God to kind of, if his voice is still and small in a lot of ways, right? If he has a still small voice in a lot of situations, how are you trained to hear it?
Right.
By the habits you form around your relationship with God.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do think that it's important, but I also think it's important that you don't look down on yourself for maybe having less habitual routines than others. Well, my God, I'm not, when you have kids and you have toddlers and you're not, you don't have your prayer life as structured, it's okay. It's a great opportunity to start. Just start. Don't feel bad about it. Just start.
Well, what you just said, that's exactly the reason you said, hey, what's the word? I'm like, well, I kind of have three, and it's a concept. They're all together, but it's habits, hacks, and routines. Because there are things that, like you said, we habitually do out of just our nature. There are things right now you do, whether you realize it or not, on autopilot. Okay? But then you get into, okay, how can I hack this to make this more productive, to make this, maybe, yeah, well, exactly, like, because there is I call it a quantum move, right? There's a quantum thing. There's something that if you do this one thing, other stuff aligns with the other stuff you're wanting to do. It's the thing that causes everything else to happen. And so I think building a successful routine starts with having that one thing that makes everything work together. So like what you're even talking about with reading, okay? Or like for you, your predictability is a little difficult with the whole mom thing, right? So what you're finding is if I can at least get into an environment that's conducive, that allows for it to actually take place. So it's not about the specific time, but kind of okay, when I find myself in this situation, this is what I can do. And I'll give you a great example for even me who's not with the kids all the time. If I'm driving, there are two activities that should take place. Number one is if I need to make some phone calls, if they are calls that I can make within my, arrival, right? That's the time to do that. If not, if we're all caught up, I need to listen to something. And for me, am I kind of learning? I am, but I'm also like, to your point, when I'm listening to a book, I'm listening for the ideas that catch my attention that are worthy of spending more time on, if that makes sense. Like I can't, like, to sit down and read a book is not as conducive as I would really like it to be.
Yeah.
It's just, it's not like life's bit, but I enjoy it. I really do. I enjoy it, but I don't have, and I remember, I think TJ would probably remember this. Michael Hyatt talked about, who used to be he's a personal development guy now, but he was the CEO of not HarperCollins, but what it used to be. I can't think of a TJ comment. But anyways, Michael Hyatt talked about when he had kids, about the best he could do was like 15 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Because life's crazy. Now that he's an empty nester, man, I get to read. I get to really develop. But it's your season that you're in. So that being said, you've got to learn to hack where you're at. You know what I'm saying? Thomas Nelson. Thank you, TJ. Thank you very much. By the way, there were a lot of comments.
And I've learned kind of how to marry two things together to kind of get the best of both worlds. So for like, if I'm deep in a project, especially if I'm working downstairs, so I'm in the shop and I have a lot of scrolling. So I have a project that I've got to work on this week that's going to consist of a lot of monotonous scrolling. And I'm there, I'm masked up, and I'm just kind of doing the routine. I can't, when I'm scrolling, my kids are not present, because of the
dusts.
The dusts, yeah. So, obviously childcare's a thing. So, let's use this opportunity, and I put on a book, an audio or something, or, whatever that may be. And that's kind of when I'm able to really dig in. And, I think being intentional with that and understanding what you need, because sometimes I just play music and it's mindless. And then there's other times I'm like, you know what? I actually don't want to just zone out. I'd kind of like to take in some knowledge. Like I could listen to music right now, but I'm going to use this opportunity to take in something that's going to help me, or I had a little issue last week and I got upset not at anybody necessarily. I had a thing that just really frustrated me, and my blood pressure just spiked really, really high. And I knew, I'm gonna have to calm down. I'm gonna have to find find my neutral, like find my calmness. And I sat down, and one of my favorite people to listen to that I just really like her perspective on a lot of things is Mel Robbins. Brooklyn was over here when I had gotten upset. And so she knew that I was a little, not on my game. She had left and went next door for a little while, and then she came back over to check on me. And I had Mel Robbins How to Deal with Anger podcast. And she just got so tickled at, boy, you're that mad, man. You're listening to anger management. But
I'm not angry.
Yeah, but like something like that I know is going to be that thing that kind of calms me. But it's knowledge at the same time, like those spontaneous moments where you put that in, but you got to kind of marry the two, is my point. If you have a moment where you're sitting and you need to calm down, go ahead and take in something. Or if you're working and you can, it's like Mark said, when he did the mail run, like he had a lot of routine. He carried the mail and that kind of stuff. And so he put the Bible in audio. And that moment, or in those moments where he was working and listening, he read the entire Bible 12 times, I think he said.
Oh, we're losing charge?
Yeah.
You keep talking. I'll work on it. Technical difficulties. I'm on it.
You're good. Oh, yeah. It's probably not plugged in there. But yeah, so like just little things like that to help your habits. What was the book that talked about that, Jason? It talked about...
Well, there's Charles Duhigg, anything he wrote, and then there's also...
You're good. You're good.
The one that I think summarized everything best was James Clear talking about atomic habits. He really condensed it.
That's the one I think I preferred. The other one.
Yes, the other one's very technical.
It takes a couple of times through.
Yeah. But it was very interesting. He talked. Well, here's the thing.
Still cool, but.
Well, here's what he said that made me go, huh. He said, we never rise to our expectation for long term, but we always will fall to our he said it in a much better way, but basically we fall to the level of our habits. In other words, yes, like to your point about motivation and stuff, man, I'm motivated, I'm excited, we're woo, right? And then eventually you gas out and you're going to fall to wherever you have set your precedent, wherever your baseline, so in other words, it's one of those like getting up early. That's like everyone talk, you getting up early? You getting up early, bro? Like it's a great habit to have because once you get there at the end of the day, like no matter what happens in your life, it's just like, I had a bad day, so what? I'm getting up tomorrow.
And you can
It's a decision already made.
And this will kind of set the pace for the rest of the week too. You can think, man, I don't think I have habits in my life. I probably should have
you do. You may just not have routines.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and the lack of positive habits indicate the presence of negative ones.
Ooh, what do you say? What do you mean?
It's one of those, if I don't have a habit of eating healthy, then I have a habit of eating unhealthy.
I have a habit of fidgeting.
These poor cameras, like microphones right there. But yeah, it's inevitable. And we talked about this the other day. I said, if I don't have
if there is no plan,
at making quick plans for food. Hey, what are we going to eat in an hour? I don't know. And if I don't know,
it's
9
pizza.
times out of 10, it will be a bad decision. You know what I'm saying? Like, because at this point I don't have time. But if I make time to plan out the meal plan of the week, then I can say, hey, I've already allotted this time to plan things out. So I'll plan, healthy options. And I will say this, your habits aren't based on what motivates you at all. Like or better yet, your habits, I don't feel like are based on motivation.
Yeah.
Habits and motivation are not the same thing. I don't like motivation. Motivation is a confidence killer at its best because it's never there when you need it. It's never there when you need it. You're motivated to do something, And then by the time you're ready to do it, more often than not, that motivation is gone. And then you know what's left because you didn't do the thing you were motivated to do?
Maybe people don't know
Negative
where
thinking.
to get the motivation.
Yeah, negative thinking. That's what's left. Boy, you said you're going to eat right, and here you are eating a brownie. You know, I'm going to tell you. Brownies are my
I didn't, by
downfall.
the way.
But I'm just saying, yeah, like it's just one of those. So habits, I guess, kind of help. Honestly, they help keep your confidence up. Positive habits help keep your confidence up. They help keep your, your life in a better. I will say, I had a pretty strenuous chiropractic routine over the course of 2 months, 3
2
months,
months, maybe.
So I had to go there twice a week, and they were kind of helping not reconstruct, but basically reactivate my stomach muscles, my abs and things. So since I've had kids, my abs are like, bye. Like we're on vacation. Like it's not even, we're not working.
Well, they've been through a lot.
They've been through a lot. Yeah, they've separated, maybe tore a little, whatever. So my lower back has been working 24/7. And so they're trying to figure out, listen, we're just going to help reactivate these muscles so that your back can have some relief. So I'm going 2 times a week, and I'm getting adjusted, but also I'm doing consistent sweatable workouts. That's what I'll call them, because like it was
Unlike
strenuous.
any chiropractor.
It's literally like a
you've ever
gym.
been
Like you
to.
go to the gym, you work out, they adjust you. It's basically like that. And I found it was rough in the beginning, obviously. Isn't it always when you go to you work out and you haven't worked out? But I noticed with that routine, I felt better. Obviously, working your body, it releases endorphins and, that kind of thing. I started feeling better. Well, then it's like, hey, your back's doing good. So we're only going to do like once a month. That's awesome. But since I've done once a month, I've not been working out at home. And so I've noticed losing that habit has affected so many other things around me that I never would have imagined it affected, but it did. And that's what we were talking about the other day. You were like, you seem to be having these issues ever since you stopped going to the chiropractor as much. And it had to do with, I'm still very active. My job is physical, but I'm not targeting proper
I was going to say, it's totally activity is different than strength building. It's totally different.
But losing that habit was,
Absolutely.
Anyways, rambled.
No, you're fine. Let's see here. We do have some comments here. I want to look here. Let's see
just all
here.
the Bible stuff.
Oh, all the Bible stuff. Let's see here. Comprehension more through the audio. I will say though, on that note, I think audio has become very like it's changed the game for so many people. I know it has even for me. Like our Audible library is like full of stuff. I want to know what a mid is. I said you're a mid. I don't even know what that means.
What is the somebody? Is that Becky?
I read the Bible out loud to comprehend it better.
Dyslexic secret, reading out loud, genius thing to do. Genius thing to do.
Now Martinez did he hop off?
Yeah, he had a dentist appointment.
Oh, tooth hurty. Think about it, people.
Yes.
Think about it. I bet that's the dentist, isn't it?
You go ahead and keep
She
talking about
has to take that real
Firestone
quick.
Colon.
Firestone. Oh, that's what happened to me the other day. Oh, that's good. So after talking about this for a little bit, I want to hear from some folks. What are your maybe helpful routines? Because here's something I will say too. This is just for me, okay? When it comes to habits and routines, I like hearing others to learn what's helping them, whether it be something with health, financial, relational, even some productivity stuff, right? Like what are some things that you're doing that are helping you, reel in the day, because at the end of the day, we all have the same amount of time, right? But there are people that are dominating the time that they have. There are little things that they're getting, like the people that you look at and you're like, dude, or sis, how are you getting all that done? Well, they have the same amount of time you do. It's just maybe they figured something out, right? So I'm always trying to figure out what is it that I don't know that used properly, used in my context, because I will tell you this, I don't think that you can just out the gate, like just take somebody else's routine and just, copy it. But I do think that you model things, okay? You model things. So for instance, when you are modeling, I'm not taking it exactly as it is and applying it directly to my life. What I am, I'm getting the principles, if that makes sense. I'm getting this concept and saying, oh, okay, I see where you're going with that. Oh, come on over. I see where you're going with that, and I feel like that I could apply this to my life and make things better. Talking about like the difference between modeling and copying. Mm-hmm. Like I don't do well by just doing exactly what somebody does, but if I hear their story, number one, I'm inspired by it. Maybe, I don't know. Depends on how good the story is, right? But that amount of inspiration translates into me determining the application, right? Like, so I could apply this like that. I could take what you're doing with your morning routine and kind of take from it, because maybe that's aligning with some of the goals that I'm trying to accomplish. You know what I mean? Like that's the power of not just having habits, hacks, and routines, but sharing them, because you just never know what somebody's doing that you're like, man.
Well,
that's really cool.
That's you taking somebody's habit, hacking it to make it more personalized for you, mm-hmm. to establish your routine.
Yes.
That's how you do it, because it's very, very true in your health journey. Because there are so many diets and exercises and people that tell you what to do. And at some point, you are going to tweak something a little bit to work for you. Mm-hmm. Because you could do the same thing. I can do the same thing he does, and I'm going to have... It's not that I'm not going to have different results necessarily, but my timeline would be different. I'm a woman. He's a man. And how things work for me might be a little slower than him. You know what I'm saying? I could be doing the same thing. I don't lose as much weight, right? I'm everything about me is a little bit different. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes either do the same thing long enough and you'll get there, or whatever. Mm-hmm. But sometimes you have to modify. Little modification, sure. Right? And that's okay. It's got to fit you, because if it doesn't and you just you're going to get burnt out. It doesn't fit you. Well,
and I'm glad you said that, because here's the other thing that I would tell you. This is just an opinion. I'd love to hear from you on this. The moment, like, there's a difference between staying the course to accomplish something, because mm-hmm. this is not what I'm getting ready to say. I'm not saying this to give people an out, mm-hmm. but I will say, a good question to ask yourself is, does this routine or this habit, is this giving me life or is it taking life away?
Yeah.
Like, I have found myself doing things that over time actually took life from me. Mm-hmm. And then I had to come to this, like, wait a minute. This habit doesn't serve me. Now, it served me back then. Don't get me wrong. Habits and routines, they will serve you for a time. Mm-hmm. But at some point, you have to be aware, like, dude, that ain't serving me anymore. Mm-hmm. I've changed, right? My situation, things have changed, therefore I must change, because otherwise I'm going to just keep, anyways. He said, if you don't change it up a little bit at some point mentally, you will determine it won't be yours. And
to your point.
Exactly. Like especially, and again, that's a personality type. There's some people, monotony, like they have to have it. Others, if this thing keeps staying the same way, I ain't going to keep up with it.
To that point too, like we were talking to somebody the other day, and they had said in a book they read, I'm blanking on the book, but he said, like these people that are very successful, there's a handful of them that, like, they eat the same thing every day, mm-hmm. because it's one less decision they have to make.
See, I'm more of that category.
Yeah. Me, on the other hand, it's not that I can't handle like a system, but it has to be a large enough system that I can kind of put it on shuffle, and mix it up a little bit.
Ooh, what's today?
Yeah, I don't want Taco Tuesday. Sometimes it's going to be Taco Thursday in 3 weeks. Like I can't handle that. But I'm a creative thinker. At the top, everybody's creative, but creativity is kind of a main source of life for me, like the way that my brain operates. So in that,
You thrive with options.
I do thrive with options, and it keeps that creativity flowing, a little spontaneity. But at the same time, it doesn't have to literally be unplanned spontaneity. It's just that idea of mixing it up. I feel like Big Bang Theory when Sheldon wore like Wednesday's outfit on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And he was like,
I'm a rebel.
But yeah. But so those different people, I can't do that the way that some people would. It just doesn't match. It doesn't match who I am.
So I'll give you a great example. So when I changed wardrobes for fitting purposes, literally did what's this shirt? It's this one. It's this the True Classics. So basically, I got the same but different colors.
Yeah.
Of these and the polos.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those every day. I'm grabbing that, and I'm grabbing a pair of bottoms,
Yeah.
and we're good.
Women aren't the same.
Women
are not the same.
When we have Taco Tuesday, it ends up being Taco Wednesday and Thursday. Come on, bring on the tacos. I want to talk about tacos.
That is something when you start cooking up ground beef, chances are you've cooked up too much. Not lately though. You can serve that stuff. It's like $20 for a 5-pound thing.
Every bite of that.
Yeah. No, but to your point, we are very different in that. He has the same outfits, just in different colors. Mm-hmm. And me, I have a couple shirts in different colors, but there's a lot of stress that goes on in a woman's mind.
Eliminate
when she
it.
Dresses. Well,
Stop. I liberate you today.
Yeah, but she's openly judged too, a little bit more than men. So.
Well, and I will tell you this. Tomorrow, to kind of, as we're kind of wrapping things up, we're 5 till, and I hear little pitter patters. Mm-hmm. I want to talk a little bit tomorrow about habit shaming.
Ooh. And then the next day we're going to talk about the habit of kindness.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Look at you, princess.
Oh, the bed, yes.
Yeah.
She put on a princess outfit all by herself.
All by herself. That was actually really good.
I know, genius. She's 2. Vote for her for president.
It's like Leslie Knope when she was little. But yeah, because I will tell you this. Sometimes when you talk to, I like these conversations to learn and to glean because I'm not trying to convince you to do what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I have zero interest in you doing what I'm doing. But there is that level of people want to enter these conversations because they want to tell you what they're doing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And if you're not doing what they're doing, well, you should start doing, you know what I'm saying? If you're not doing this, you're.
Yes.
What?
Can I do closing thoughts?
Absolutely.
Okay,
that's why I looked at you and said, "What?"
Here's what I think you should take away, because this is Monday and you have the opportunity to set the pace for the rest of your week, and you get to set your pace with us. And we're talking about habits, and sometimes that touches a place in your head that kind of maybe triggers a little bit of negative thinking, insecurities, right? That New Year's resolution that you never held up, right? That gym membership that you went to for 2 months, but now it just takes money out of your bank account. That can be really tough. When you talk about habits, you immediately go to all the things that you didn't keep as a habit. Here's what I want you to do, okay? Don't shut the show off and say, it's not going to be good for my headspace. No. You're telling yourself a lie. You're telling yourself that you cannot keep a habit. The truth is, right now, you have habits. You have habits in your life that you have kept for years and years and years. So instead of looking at it that way and saying, well, okay, so I keep bad habits, right? Yeah, but that shows you something. You're capable of it. You're capable of keeping habits. So all we're talking about this week is how to hack that capability for the better version of you. So this is how to be the best version of who you are by hacking what you're already doing. You already have habits, right? I have habits. I have a pantry habit. I go there when I have a craving, right? But instead of waiting on the craving to trigger my habit, I need to hack my brain and plan out things to kind of catch it, before I fall into that bad habit, because I know I'm capable of doing something continuously. We all are. We all do continual things, right? So take that this week. This is what we're talking about. This is not going to be a shameful conversation. This is not going to be a negative conversation. And yes, this would be great if this motivated you, but we're not even talking about motivation. As I've said,
we don't believe in that on this show.
Does anybody play Mario Kart? Have you ever played Mario Kart or any kind of racing game? Do you know that little thing on like the racing games on the tracks when all of a sudden you hit it and your car goes boom and it gets like extra fast?
More princesses.
So extra fast, that's your motivation. You don't want to race because of that. It might put you ahead of the game for like a second, but as quickly as it's there, it's gone. But
you're going to hit a banana.
You're going to hit a banana. But what keeps you going is the steady pace and the steering of the machine, right? This is habits. This is hacking your brain to find the best potential.
Sounds like the beginning of a webinar. This is habits.
We will be taking this audio snippet and we will be making it a TikTok voiceover.
You want to build a habit.
Tune in this week. This is gonna, we're gonna dig into stuff, but we're digging into what you're capable of doing. And so I would encourage you this week to share with us via comment or our personal cell phone. 615. Share with
that was the best. That was like
What are some things? What are some positive habits that you want to put into your life that you would like to start? Why don't you share that with us?
Absolutely.
And let's make it a point, because we've already established this is our community.
Let's be habit builders.
It is a positive community. So let's build each other's habits together. Okay? So share it in the comments. Let's do this, and let's start hacking our brains for the better. Yeah.
Habit. Well, that's our child with a box on her head. So, all right. You have a great day. I'm super excited about this week. Again, text us, direct message us, all that good stuff. Let us know in the comments, however you want to. Happy Monday.
Set the pace. You can do it.
Let's go.